Are you ready for the procedure? Do I really need this procedure? This is the most common question that is there in our practice. Whenever you are considering a procedure, do ask yourself this question. Do I love my body? Do I accept my body? If the answer is yes, you might not need the procedure. But loving yourself does not mean you cannot improve yourself. If you're concerned repeatedly and it is affecting your self confidence or daily life, then the option is worth exploring. But even before that, try a 30-day affirmation challenge. Tell yourself, I love myself, I respect my body, my worth is not defined by my appearance. And if after 30 days the concern still matters, then a professional consultation is important. Do not make an impulsive decision because surgery should come from self care and never from self criticism. Now, whenever you have decided that I am ready for the procedure, the question comes to the mind, am I the right candidate? The goal here is to make an informed decision. But how to make that informed decision? There are some things that needs to be considered for being an ideal candidate. An ideal candidate is not just physically fit, but psychologically fit also. You should ask yourself for how long you have been considering this procedure. Do I have realistic expectations or am I following a certain trend on social media? Or if my peer or a friend has got this procedure done, should I get the same procedure done? Are there any non-surgical alternatives available? Plus, the timing is also very important. Be it the fact that you are about to lose weight on any kind of medications like GLP-1s, or there are medical conditions that are there. The finance is also very important before considering the procedure because most of the procedures are not covered under insurance. Plus, recovery also has to be made sure that fits your schedule, and it does require long-term maintenance in the form of diet, nutrition, and active lifestyles. So these are the questions that you should ask yourself before proceeding. Remember, not every good procedure is the right procedure for you. Now, once you have decided, choosing your plastic surgeon becomes a task. Who should perform my surgery? Well, you should choose wisely and take your own time. Some pointers to help you are the board certification. A plastic surgeon should be certified. He should have done his MBBS, MS, and MCH, plus that cosmetic surgery training also. He should be working at a hospital based setup, or if a clinic based setup, the ICU backup should also be there. Does he have an anesthesia team that is prepared for any emergency? Plus, the experience of the surgeon with this procedure is also important. Do ask for before and after results. Patient review and testimonials strengthen your resolve. Transparency about risk ensure that your follow-ups are much better, plus your recovery is faster. Do ask about the revision policy also. Well, the virtue of a good plastic surgeon are non-judgmental, being honest with you, does not pressure you, and listens more than he speaks. It is important to set realistic expectations because once the risk and benefits are explained clearly, the decision is easier for you. You should be able to comfortably ask questions, and your surgeon should be able to say no when he or she thinks it is not appropriate for you. Dignity and respect form the core along with the ethics. So, choose the surgeon you trust, not the procedure you want. Now, the surgical journey is very important to understand. What happens on the day of the surgery? It is important to know all these factors as it reduces fear and uncertainty. Before arriving at the hospital, there are some formalities which are done. You have to come fasting if it is done under general anesthesia. That means no food and water at least 6 hours prior to the procedure. Then at the admission process, our staff greets you and tells you what exactly to follow. Then you go into your designated room where the team meets you. They provide you instructions before the surgery. The consent form is built. Then anesthesia team meets you. Then we call you up for the markings where we discuss once again what the procedure is going to be and the roadmap. plus the recovery part also. Now these pointers are very important, plus any doubts or any questions should be asked whenever you are doing this. Sometimes what happens is that some questions are not answered in front of the relatives. So if you are doubtful, do ask your relatives also to come, and we'll be happy to explain to them also what is going to happen. Knowing what to expect makes the experience much less stressful, and know as much as you can. The pain management part and things you have to do while going home should also be made abundantly clear before starting the procedure. What your first night will feel like, how to expect the results, how will be the recovery. These are all very important things. Commonly I am asked, Doc, how do I heal well? What promotes physical recovery? Well, we emphasize more on the physical recovery, but sometimes we forget that it is emotional recovery also that has to be taken care of. Physical recovery includes medications that have to be taken before the surgery, during the surgery, and after the surgery. Now, post surgery, there are certain medications which are prescribed, which includes antibiotics, painkillers, plus other medications to help you recover faster. Nutrition, especially a high protein diet, is very important. We do encourage ambulation, that means walking as early as possible. If you are undergoing a body contouring procedure of any part of the body, a compression garment is a must. You should ask about the duration also, for how long have to wear. Plus, car care is also very important, and there are instructions which are given. Going back to work, taking care of your sleep, taking care of your family members, when to exercise, knowing about the follow-up visits, this is all part of the recovery questions. Now, emotional recovery is sometimes not explained. Well, swelling is temporary, but it is always important to avoid constant mirror checking. As healing takes time, it is important that you don't compare yourself to others. An important information to say at this point of time is, I love myself, I respect my body, I am healing every day, I am patient with my recovery, I choose this to care for myself. Every recovery is different. Recovery is not just about healing your body, it is about rebuilding confidence with patience and kindness. Why doesn't the gym fix my chest? During my Sina Strong experience, I came across various people, especially the people who are into fitness. One question they commonly asked was, Doc, we are regularly going to the gym. Even then, I'm not able to lose the chest fat. What's the reason? Well, I simply told them a basic anatomy. Anatomy to understand what exactly is happening around your body. Outside is skin, beneath that you have something known as gland, which is just beneath the nipple area. Surrounding that is the fatty tissue, and then you have the muscle. When you're going to the gym, you are losing some amount of chest fat, but the gland is stubborn. It does not go away. It's a hard part. So what happens when you develop the muscle also? This muscle hypertrophies or increases in size, and there in turn pushes the gland further. Now that's the reason this gland does not go away, and your chest problem persists even after regular gymming. So it is important to differentiate whether this is pure fat or the gland. Now there can be various causes for that. Causes like your paternal side, causes like your genetics, environmental factors, some medications that you have taken, or you have taken steroids, or sometimes it is idiopathic. That means there are no particular cause, as 1 in 5 males now have this problem. The grades of the problem or the extent of the problem can vary. There are different grades like 1, 2, 3, 4, but a simple way to assess is mild, moderate, severe. In the mild cases, there is some fat, there is some gland, and there is mild looseness of the skin. But as it progresses to the moderate, there is more gland, more fat, and some looseness of the skin. In the higher grade, there is more looseness of the skin, and the gland and the fat part also is there. Now, the conservative treatment does not help in this case once you have crossed the age of 18 years. Usually this problem subsides if it is because of the pubertal changes or the hormonal changes by 18 years. The gland persists after that, and if it is bothering you, it can be worth exploring. The surgery remains the gynecomastia surgery, in which it is a daycare surgery. You come in the morning, say around 6 o'clock, 7:30 me and my team comes, 8 o'clock we do the markings, by 8:30 you are shifted into operation theatre. The operation is done under local anesthesia or the general anesthesia depending on the grade. Procedures takes around 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes, and there are certain technologies that we use like VASER, which is an ultrasonic assisted liposuction machine to melt the fat and ensure skin retraction, plus micro air or power assisted tool to take out the fat just from a very small incision from the sides, and there's no cut on the nipple and board. That means you can take out your shirt even after the surgery without hesitation of a scar mark being visible to other person. Plus, sometimes in higher grades, we don't need to cut the skin now, or the excision surgery is not required, because we have certain skin tightening technologies like BodyTite plus Morpheus, which tightens up the skin from inside and outside simultaneously. Now by 11 a.m. you are shifted back to your observation room, and after that you are shifted back to your private room. You are slightly drowsy during this time and there is slight discomfort, but as such there is no pain. After around 2 p.m. you get some water. By 2:30 you are given some food. First day we keep it light, and by evening you are discharged back home also if you are nearby, if your place is nearby. Otherwise the next day we discharge you. The dressing is very small and therefore you don't require to change it very frequently also. Plus the stitches are also dissolvable ones. We call you once for the dressing change and to teach you how it is done. Plus you get a video also in which you can easily see and do it yourself also at home. If you are planning to fly back after the procedure, you can fly back the very next day. You just have to make sure that you are wearing a compression garment post surgery that takes care of the swelling, plus discomfort is there, but it is tolerable. In the initial 3-4 days, there is slight discomfort while doing certain movements, and therefore mild restriction is what we advise. Otherwise, antibiotics are given for 7 days plus 10 days painkillers are given, not for the pain but swelling reduction. Lymphatic massage also is taught to reduce the swelling at a faster rate. What you can expect is taking care of the fact that swelling reduces after 1 month, but mostly you get good idea of the results immediately after the surgery, and therefore it keeps on improving over a period of time once you start exercise also after 6 weeks. Hope this was helpful about gynecomastia. If you have any doubts related to gynecomastia, do call on this number and we'll be happy to help you out. If this video helped you understand your options, you have already taken the first step. Cosmetic surgery is not just about becoming someone else. It is much more powerful than that. It is about making an informed decision that aligns your personality with your soul. If you still have questions, write them down, bring them to your consultation. My job is not to convince you to have surgery. It is to help you out decide whether it is the right choice for you.